It's a strange thing, isn't it? When Jesus promises to give rest to our tired souls, he doesn't offer to take away our work altogether. Instead, he invites us to put on a wooden collar, a yoke. It feels like a contradiction right at the heart of the gospel. We usually look for relief by escaping, by finding quiet corners, or trying to do absolutely nothing. Yet, the Savior points us directly to an instrument of labor. In the ancient language of the New Testament, the word used for this yoke is chrestos. It means so much more than just easy or light. It means something beautifully suited, tailor-made, and profoundly kind. Real spiritual rest, it turns out, isn't about stopping all movement. It's about finding the perfect partner to walk with. When we look at our lives today, we all know what it feels like to be crushed by modern expectations. It's like carrying an invisible backpack, stuffed tight with the pressure to perform, worries about tomorrow, and the heavy weariness of trying to do it all ourselves. We walk through our days like tired travelers on a steep mountain trail, our knees shaking under weights we were never designed to carry alone. Our minds spin like wheels caught in deep mud, using up so much energy, yet going nowhere. In the middle of all that noise, we just want a quiet place to lay our heavy bundles down. It's right there, in that exact place of exhaustion, that these ancient words meet us with a different way to live. Think about the day these words were first spoken to a crowd gathered on a dusty hillside. The people listening knew exactly what a wooden yoke felt like. They saw oxen wearing them in the fields every single day. They also knew the heavy spiritual weight of legalism. Religious leaders of the time piled rule upon rule onto their shoulders, without ever lifting a finger to help them. To these people, worn thin by both physical labor and the endless pressure to perform, Jesus offers a beautiful trade. He doesn't promise to banish all work, or offer a temporary escape to the desert. Instead, he invites them to trade their rough, ill-fitting harness for one crafted by his own hands. He begins this invitation with words of deep comfort. "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." When we hear these words, our minds might picture a quiet, sunlit meadow where all labor stops. But a yoke is meant for work. It's built to join two animals together so they can pull a heavy plow through the soil. By offering us a yoke, Jesus is showing us that living on this earth will always require us to pull some kind of load. The question isn't whether we'll wear a harness, but whose harness we'll wear, and who will walk beside us. If we don't take up the yoke of Christ, we will inevitably bind ourselves to the heavy yokes of this world, seeking approval, chasing success, or listening to our own harsh self-criticism. Those worldly harnesses are rough. They cut deep, leaving us raw and exhausted at the end of every single day. In the ancient world, a master carpenter would spend days measuring the neck and shoulders of an ox before he ever started shaping the wood. He would carve it slowly, shaving down the rough edges and polishing the surface until it fit the animal perfectly, making sure it wouldn't rub or chafe. This is the beautiful reality behind that word chrestos, which we usually translate as easy in our Bibles. Jesus is telling you that the harness he has for your life isn't some mass-produced, one-size-fits-all weight. It has been custom designed for your specific frame, your unique strengths, and even your deepest vulnerabilities. Because it fits you perfectly, it doesn't rub against your wounds, it simply gives you the exact support you need to keep moving forward. But there is an even deeper beauty here, because a yoke is never meant for just one. In those days, a young, untrained ox was often harnessed next to a stronger, older, wiser companion. The experienced beast would carry almost all the weight, gently guiding the younger one, teaching it the pace of the field, and keeping it from running wild and collapsing from exhaustion. When you accept Jesus' invitation, you aren't being asked to pull the heavy plow of life on your own. You are stepping into a double harness, and the Son of God Himself is walking right beside you, taking the real weight onto His own shoulders. If these quiet reflections on the gentle path of faith are bringing a sense of peace to your heart, we invite you to subscribe and walk this road with us, as we seek the quiet presence of God together. There is no need to hurry. The journey is long, and the company is sweet. Let's look closely at how this shared walk changes everything. Picture a little child trying to carry a heavy wooden bench across a garden, straining with all their might. Then, their father steps in. He lifts the heavy end, guiding the way. The child still has their hands on the wood, they feel the movement and get to participate in the task, but the actual weight is carried entirely by the father. In the same way, the daily responsibilities that feel like too much for us are held by hands infinitely stronger than ours. Why, then, do we keep struggling as if we are walking this path all alone? Welcome back to this quiet space. Let's consider the pace at which we are invited to walk. When we are harnessed to the expectations of the world, we are constantly forced into a frantic, breathless rush. We run from one thing to the next, our hearts fluttering like a dry leaf caught in a sudden autumn wind. But when you look at the life of Jesus in the Gospels, you never see Him in a hurry. He had only 3 short years to complete His ministry on earth, yet He always had time to stop by a well, to touch a blind beggar, or to rest by the sea. When we join our lives to His yoke, we are agreeing to walk at His pace, a deliberate, unhurried, and deeply sustainable stride. The prophet Isaiah beautifully captured this gentle way of our Savior when describing how God cares for His people. He will feed His flock like a shepherd. He will gather the lambs in His arm, and carry them in His bosom. He will gently lead those who have their young. This picture of a shepherd gently leading those that are with young reminds us that God is deeply aware of our limitations. He doesn't drive us forward with a whip, He carries us close to His heart and guides us at a pace that respects our weakness. If you are feeling overwhelmed today, it might be because you've tried to run ahead of the shepherd, pulling against the harness to reach a destination of your own choosing. The pain you feel isn't the weight of the yoke itself, it's the friction of resisting His gentle lead. When we surrender to His timing, the tension in our shoulders melts away, and we find that we can breathe deeply once again. Imagine a sailboat resting on a calm, glass-like lake in the early morning. If the sailors try to move the boat by rowing with all their might, they will quickly tire themselves out, making very little progress. But when they unfold the sails and allow the gentle, invisible wind to push them forward, they find rest even as they travel. This is the difference between trying to do everything ourselves and walking in the Spirit of Christ. Our own effort, when detached from His grace, is just exhausting rowing. When we yield to His yoke, we are letting His Spirit fill our sails, carrying us forward with a quiet power that doesn't drain our inner reserves. The Scriptures have long pointed to this ancient, restful path as the only true medicine for the human soul. Yahweh says, "Stand in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way? And walk in it, and you will find rest for your souls." But they said, "We will not walk in it." To find this rest, We must often stop our busy feet and look back to the timeless truths that have sustained believers for generations. We have to ask ourselves where we lost the path of simplicity and quiet trust. Perhaps we've allowed our time with God to become just another chore on an endless checklist, a task to be completed rather than a relationship to be enjoyed. The yoke of Jesus is not a list of rules to memorize or spiritual achievements to check off. It is a daily, living connection with a Savior who knows your name, who understands your limitations, and who wants to share the weight of your day. Think of a weaver sitting at a large wooden loom, carefully adjusting the tension of the threads so they don't snap under the pressure. If the threads are pulled too tight, the fabric will ruin. If they are too loose, the design will fall apart. The Lord is the master weaver of your days, constantly adjusting the tension of your life with infinite tenderness and skill. He knows exactly how much pressure you can bear, and He never allows the weight to exceed the grace He provides. In His hands, our trials are woven into something beautiful, and our daily work becomes a way to worship Him rather than a source of weariness. As you step back into the flow of your daily life, carry this image of the well-fitting yoke with you. Remember that you do not have to carry the weight of your family, your future, or your past on your own fragile shoulders. The next time you feel the familiar rise of anxiety, picture yourself stepping into that custom-carved wooden harness right beside the Savior, letting Him take the heavy side of the load. Walk slowly, breathe deeply, and trust that He who began a good work in you will carry it to completion at a gentle, sustainable pace. May you find true rest for your soul today as you walk the road with the One who is gentle and lowly in heart. May His peace, which goes far beyond our understanding, guard your mind and quiet your spirit, both now and in all the days to come.